Hey guys, it's Jonathan, Wrestling Talking Shop. Welcome back to the channel. Finally made it back from Vegas and made it back to Texas, back in the wrestling shop. Had a couple of days to kind of get my life back in order. You know, when you leave for a week, it's always, you know, and you got to come back and do a million things. But I haven't had a chance to rewatch the show, but I'm going to kind of go over, tell my thoughts on the show about being there live and show over. I know we did a merch haul, but I've updated some merch, so we're gonna go over and I'll talk about what we got here. I guess we'll start with the last time is now John Cena cap. Never give up, rise above hate, and you can see that it's got the thing on. This is actually my only John Cena hat that I ever had. I've got tons of John Cena shirts and whatnot, but I've never had a cap, so I thought, well, what better than his last WrestleMania cap?
Does it say anything on the back?
Yeah, it says the last.
Oh, okay,
the
last time is now.
Yeah, and
yeah, I wore that tonight too.
Yeah, we picked that up. Can't hardly go to a show without picking something up, and that was what we got there. And then we got the WrestleMania 40. They had one hat. Now they had half a dozen hats, so we just had to kind of go through and just pick out the one, and this is the one we settled on that we liked the most with the golden brim on it there. And
I really like the blue brim.
Yeah,
but
it's got the WrestleMania logo there, WrestleMania Vegas on the back. Then they were passing. Somebody was passing these out. I always pick up free stuff. Free stuff, if it's free, it's for me. Somebody, NWO book coming out. You can check that out. They were passing them out on the thing. And then this was in the hotel in New York. It's just a little book with Monday Night Raw on the front. Like I said, if it's free, it's for me. So I picked that up. Then we got the John Cena Las Vegas shirt. The last time is now.
It's a cool shirt.
Yeah, very cool shirt. I would like to have two, frame them up, the front and the back, but I only picked up one. You had to make decisions, but you know, that's what I do with my shirts. I don't necessarily wear them because if they go to the washing machine, they're going to shrink, you know, and it looks like a muscle shirt or it looks like I'm trying to show off something I ain't got. So I've got a few that I wear and I usually hand wash them and don't dry them. Then we've got the
because they definitely shrink.
The WrestleMania. I was there on the back.
41 slot machine themed. You have to get it. I was there, sure.
Yeah. Then we got the another one with the match card on it. Check that out. That's
yep. Got Tiffy, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Mommy.
I'll turn it back over. It's got everybody, all the main stars on it. Of course, it didn't have. Does it have Braun Breaker on it or anywhere?
No.
I didn't think so. It didn't have Braun Breaker. That was actually, or Dominic Mysterio. That, in my opinion, that was the best WrestleMania match there was the Fatal 4-Way.
Everybody was so excited about that one.
Yeah, when Dominic won the Intercontinental title, I was so happy. Then we got this hoodie there. It's like a sweatshirt.
Zipper.
Yeah, zipper hoodie. WrestleMania 49.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I might take that.
Yeah, I bought that to wear. I mean, that's something. Then we picked this up, the 2-pack of Cody and Dusty there, WWE Superstars. Been having my eye on that on Mattel Creations for a long time. But
do you remember how much it was?
It was $50 at the online, but I think it's actually $60. It's marked $60, so it's actually $60. You know, at the store.
person.
Yeah, so you have to pay that $10. You want to buy it in person, you have to pay that fee. Then we went to the GCW Joey Janela Spring Break show on Friday night, and I was looking all over for a program there that just shows my age. I love to buy wrestling programs, especially events I went to, but they didn't have any programs. But we did get a picture with Missouri Suzuki,
Murder Grandpa,
and I got that promo picture signed by him. That's actually the only wrestler we met the whole time we were there. I'm not a big. I love to meet wrestlers, but I just can't pay that fee, you know, and go home with a picture on my phone. I'd rather pay the fee and come home with armloads of merchandise, you know. That's just my thing. Everybody has their thing, and merchandise is mine. I've got a room here full of it there.
To testify.
Yeah, and then you got the John Cena autographs. I actually got 2 of those. I'm going to frame those up with the Mattel display. That'll be cool. I'll show it to you when I get it framed up. The other John Cena autograph.
Yeah, maybe put one in there and one by itself.
Yeah. Then we got the traditional WrestleMania program. We'll probably do a video, go over that.
Yeah, we'll go over that.
And
what's the back look like?
It's got the Hall of Fame on the back of it. But yeah, it's kind of one side's that way and then the other side's that way. And then I was able to pick up the Golden Championship. Lindsay, help me out here so I don't destroy this stuff here.
I'll be the model. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I was happy to get that. I mean, well, I don't know
Got
if
the
they.
WrestleMania plates on it.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually sold out or did that. I think they did. We went back to the stadium store, of course, night 1 and night 2, and I believe they actually sold out of that. But
I gotta get over here. Take the camera over here.
yeah, but I don't know. Everybody has their own thoughts. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like the Vegas one." I'm just happy to own one. I like, they, of course, this is the third one they've done. They've done one at 39 and 40 and 41, and I was just happy to get one because when they pop up online, they sell out immediately. And,
It's the first one we've ever been able to get.
Yeah, and you got 175 of 750.
157.
Oh yeah, 157. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it upside down, so you have to give me a little credit there. Only thing it doesn't say I was there anywhere.
Yeah, we asked them if they had any, but they didn't.
They didn't, and on the back he's got the WWE Authentic.
But it's just black, the rest of it.
That's the first replica I've picked up in a while, probably in about a year. I mean, it's the last WrestleMania. I got I've got a couple of the commemorative ones from last year, WrestleMania 40. Then we picked up this is I love these big wrestling posters. The main event. Of course, it didn't turn out the way. I was happy to see John Cena win the 17th. We were, like I said, it wasn't a phenomenal match. No, it's not one of John Cena's greatest matches. And what was the rapper's name, Lindsay?
Travis Scott.
I don't really get the whole Travis Scott thing into pro wrestling, but hey, if I was a rapper and they wanted to, I would probably do it too. But overall, I've had a lot of negative. I mean, was it the best WrestleMania ever? No. But it was a pretty good show. Dominic winning the Intercontinental title and a 3-way between Bianca, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley was a good match. I wanted to see Rhea Ripley win, but Io Sky winning was pretty good as well. I mean, those were probably the 2 matches on the show. The night 1 main event was good. It'll be interesting to see where things go now with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, and if they add any new talent or what. Becky's a heel too, so she might get in there as well. But just being there and we went to WrestleCon. Of course, like I said, we didn't do any of the meet and greets, but we just walked around.
We saw everybody.
Yeah, we saw everybody, and I had a ball. I mean, just the whole time in Vegas, just being around that atmosphere, that wrestling fans, and everybody's crazy, and they're, But like I said, WrestleMania 40 was 10 times better, as far as the event itself. But I had a good time. I would do it again. I don't have any regrets. Do you have? I mean, it was kind of at times you think, but everybody's, Triple H is not perfect either. There was some shades of Vince McMahon thrown in that WrestleMania. So like I said, I enjoyed it. I'd do it again. We waited. We didn't buy our tickets when they first come on sale. We waited for a while, and we got good seats. Probably the best seats I've ever had at a big event. Like a Royal Rumble or a SummerSlam. I don't know. I had pretty good seats.
Yeah, we had good seats at SummerSlam.
But
these were in the 100s, so
yeah,
we were
pretty close.
seats.
And we
right by the entrance.
We didn't, like I said, we waited and we bought late. And like I said, I don't have any regrets. I had a great time. Vegas is a cool place to go. 1-2 days in Vegas and you've seen it all. It's kind of I didn't do any gambling. I'm not a gambler, but
I put $7 in.
Yeah, Lindsay had a dream. She won $400,000, and she did it with $7. So we
tried that.
Yeah, we tried that dream, and turns out we just lost $7. We didn't come home with $400,000. But overall, I had a fantastic time. Been to Vegas does a lot of times, and Vegas is built for that kind of stuff. We've seen the guys, going back to the. I don't know what the attendance was. They claimed there was 62,000 each night. Who knows what there was?
There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people there, and walking back over those sky bridges. I mean, I seen those guys. We seen that firsthand. The guys that were trying to go up the escalator backwards.
Yeah, they almost fell.
Yeah, and we seen that firsthand. And those sky bridges was wall to wall people. And it was a lot of people there. I don't know that. And I felt bad for anybody who had to ride, Uber or Lyft, because there was a lot of people over there as well. I mean, but like I said, I had a phenomenal time. Going to those big events, I mean, if you can afford it, go out there and do it, step out there and do it, because there's enough people. Like, we didn't get any prime, but you could see they had some wrestlers out there, some independent guys playing basketball and whatnot. I mean, you could see that, and just, all the guys dressed up in cosplay. I guess, if you're Comic-Con fans, you see that all the time. But You know, it was just a lot of fun. Everybody was dressed up.
There's always a bunch of macho men.
Yeah, always a bunch of macho men. Some Hogans. We even sit
Ric Flairs.
Ric Flair, Undertaker.
We sat by this girl. She probably had the best one I've seen. She was like a lady Undertaker.
Yeah,
and
she was.
And she looked good. She looked good.
Yeah,
she even had perfect hair for it.
And I mean, it's just everybody drinking and they're acting fools, and you're just sober and you get to watch them. It's just it's just fun. But like I said, a lot of negative reaction to the WrestleMania. Was it the greatest WrestleMania? No. But I had a good time, and I would go again. It's just the whole spectacle of WrestleMania. It's my fourth Mania, and and they break it up into 2 nights. We went to WrestleMania 32, and it was like, what, a 12-hour show?
Like, long.
And I mean, you were exhausted time it's over with. I mean, just sitting there watching wrestling.
You're just tired of it.
And so they kind of break it up, and it kind of make, you kind of get, it's cool. It's cool. You're not exhausted, That show, the night 2 was actually over at like 7:45 Vegas time. So, I mean, you could have went out and had a whole other night,
Yeah, I'm sure there were a lot of people that did.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We didn't go to the roast.
Yeah, we didn't go to the roast. We didn't go to the Undertaker show. Wanted to go to SmackDown, but we waited. And when we waited, the ticket prices jumped up. And we said, we'll go to the GCW show. And that was a great show, too.
Honestly, I don't regret that. No. I loved that show. I mean,
that was a wild show. They took the ropes off the ring. And Sabu and Joey Janela had a barbed wire match. I mean, that was a very good show. And, I mean, it was, we Sandman come out. And, of course, that was a pretty good show.
Megan Bayne was on there.
I'd like to go to WWE World. We didn't do that, but, you can't do it all. It was $80, and I watched it on YouTube. I watched some guys that walked through it on YouTube, and I said, not really.
It looked a lot like last year's, honestly.
And
a lot of the similar stuff at last year's.
To me, the entrance price, you don't really get much. I mean, of course, I love the ring worn memorabilia and all the the memorabilia itself, but it should be like $20. It shouldn't be $80 to go look at memorabilia. If you want to do autographs, that should be
honestly,
accepted.
They shouldn't even be charging you $80 to go get autographs that are $300 on top of that.
Yeah, I mean
that's a big. I think what is a scam.
So the guys that met John Cena, they had to pay like whatever it was to meet John Cena. Plus they had to have a ticket to WWE World. And that's used to they would do those superstores up with a little memorabilia. But we did get to see that $75,000 John Cena ring worn outfit. I believe it's sold. I've seen somebody say it's sold. It was sold. So kudos to you if you were able to do that.
Yeah. But, maybe it was a Saudi prince or something like that. I don't
know. There was lots of stars there. Did we see anybody? Did we see any wrestlers up?
I didn't really see any in the wild, honestly. We stayed at New York.
We seen Top Dollar playing basketball.
Yeah.
And AJ Francis, he was playing basketball in the parking lot. You could have actually got in there for free without a ticket. Where that was at. And didn't get any Prime bottles last year. We
could have, but we didn't think we could carry them in there because they said no outside food or drink.
But apparently the Prime bottle is pretty sought after. I mean, I've got a couple from different events.
We have them from last year in SummerSlam.
But anyways, that's our 2 cents. Glad to be back. All eyes on All In now. I mean, we're looking forward to that July show. It's going to be a week of wrestling. We basically get a second WrestleMania, but this one will be a lot closer to home.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more convenient for us.
Yeah.
But I will say we had a ton of fun at WrestleMania. Like Jonathan said, Vegas was a perfect place for it because you could walk and go to walk to the stuff. We rode the bus, which was an interesting experience in itself.
Yeah.
Down the strip.
Yeah. I mean, just Vegas itself down the strip is an interesting place.
Yeah, Vegas is crazy.
We had one little issue. This guy, he was on some stuff, and I'm not saying I was bad or what, but I got a son that's bigger than me, and between me and him, I believe we could have sobered him up. But he left us alone, and we, like I said, we're not looking for trouble, but if you come knocking, we'll definitely
answer the call.
Yeah, we'll answer the call, I guess you might say. But anyways,
but we took the kids and it was fun.
Yeah, we took.
There was a lot of stuff for them to do.
Yeah, we were staying at the New York, and the Allegiant Stadium was what, a 30-minute walk?
It was like a mile. Yeah.
Like a mile, but it was a very easy mile. It's not like walking,
it wasn't hard.
Yeah, we walked halfway through a casino, and then they had the roads. It was very better than driving. I couldn't imagine it. I feel for anybody that drove.
Yeah. It was very accessible. Everything was very accessible. Only thing that was like, I don't know why they put World like so far away.
Yeah, they put it like it was like what, 3 miles.
It was down to complete.
Yeah, we rode the bus down there and went to the Superstore. We didn't go to World.
And we still had to walk a long ways from like the bus stop.
Yeah, from the bus stop. But overall, positive experience. spent too much money.
And just being in with the wrestling people, anybody you see in a wrestling show, they like always talk to you.
Yeah, everybody always, I talked to.
So it's like a whole community.
Yeah, I met a guy from Los Angeles, sitting next to them.
Washington.
Washington
California.
State. I mean, all over the world. I mean, it's
a lot of people from England. There's a lot of people from England.
And if you think we have to spend a lot of money, those guys are the true fans because they have to spend a lot of money. They're coming, changing different countries and whatnot.
They did.
But that's our 2 cents. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Like I said, we cover all things pro wrestling. I mean, we don't slow down just because WrestleMania is over. Like I said, we're looking forward to All In and daily videos. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell.